afternoon, race fans, and here we are again for qualifying at the Hungaroring. Who will have tuned the perfect setup for their car? We'll find out soon. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course, once the cars leave the garage, they'll be under parc ferme conditions, so any last-minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature? Who can hit their apexes? No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long, long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
Hey, goedendag allemaal. Welkom terug bij DraXoJ Gaming. Vandaag is de ronde van Hongarije aan de beurt. Ik ben daar niet zo heel goed in. Het is een Mickey Mouse baan, zoals ze dat ook wel noemen. Ik ga voor de maximum downforce, veel bochten, veel krappen werk. Ik heb niet veel kunnen oefenen. En we gaan kijken waar we komen. Mocht je de video leuk vinden, vergeet dan niet te liken en te subscriben. Voor nu wens ik jullie veel plezier en kijken op welke plek we kunnen komen. Net vierde plek. Oh, het begin echt veel fouten gemaakt. Ik zag zelfs dat ik even 20ste
We're all
reed.
ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Vettel and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid line-up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race. Welcome to today's championship race, which is shaping up to be a real nail-biter. The Hungaroring, it's like Monaco without the boats. 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right, and some very tricky corners to deal with. These rainy conditions out there aren't going to help either, so it's very likely we'll see a safety car or two during today's race. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas and Albon, Sainz, Perez, Magnussen and Lando Norris, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Lance Stroll and Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell, Kvyat and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Nou, regen op Hongarije. Als dit geen pret wordt, dan weet ik het ook niet meer.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
Take care. Nou, we gaan ervoor.
Start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you.
Start was oké. Nu van de 4e plek naar de 6e plek gegaan. Takt. fastest lap. Nou, dat was niet verwacht.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far. We're leading our teammate by 2.9 seconds. Nice move. Bring it home.
Net geen podium.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Daniel Ricciardo certainly impressed me today, an incredible performance.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Nou, bedankt voor het kijken allemaal. Zoals gezegd, Hongarije niet mijn beste lap. Rondes zeker niet in de regen. Nou, Hoop dat jullie het leuk vonden en ik hoop jullie bij de volgende race weer te zien. Voor nu, ik spreek jullie later. Mazzel.